Yesterday, we showed you visuals of Pakistan military officers in uniform attending the funeral of terrorists who were neutralized by India under Operation Sindoor. Do you remember Daniel Pearl? He was an American journalist abducted and beheaded by terrorists in Pakistan in the year 2002. Now, commenting on the Pakistan terrorist funeral, Daniel Pearl's father, Judea Pearl, has asked some very searing questions from Pak officers. He asks, and I quote, "I wish these dignitaries could tell us what exactly you're mourning. What role models do you wish your children to revere? What have you learned from this man?" Unquote. And now another important revelation. Ahmad Sharif Chaudhry is Lieutenant General in the Pakistan Army, currently serving as the Director General of Inter-Services Public Relations (ISPR), the media wing of Pakistan Armed Forces. He is the son of Sultan Bashiruddin Mahmud, a Pakistani nuclear engineer and founder of Umma Tamir-e-Naw in 1999, an organization that was later sanctioned for its links to terrorism. Ahmad Sharif's father was once Pakistan's top nuclear scientist, provided terrorists Osama bin Laden information about chemical, biological and nuclear weapons. Later, the group UTN was banned and Mahmoud was arrested. The United Nations and the US designated him as global terrorist. His son, Ahmad Sharif Chaudhry, may have climbed the military ranks, but some legacies are not easily left behind. And to talk about the evolving situation between India and Pakistan, joining us is a special guest. Let me welcome retired Major General Ashok Kumar, a defense expert. General Kumar, good afternoon and welcome. First, how do you, sir, assess Pakistan's use of these deranged tactics that we've been talking about, military strikes coupled with disinformation assault?
Whenever any conflict takes place, the countries come out with their version of information warfare. But sadly, in case of Pakistan, it is built around the entire fake news and the wrong narratives, wherein neither the Pakistani public nor international agencies are able to decipher as to what is the truth. Since they have got a big beating through the hands of Indian Armed Forces, so just to save their skin on so-called honor, they are faking these kind of narratives so that their trust in the Pakistani population, Pakistani establishments and their supporting countries, is rescued to some extent. This is nothing new for Pakistan. It has always been doing so because on the credible scaling, it stands nowhere. As against that, if you see the case of India, whether the briefing by the Foreign Secretary and the officers from the Army and Air Force, factual information is being given to the entire country without any ambiguity, including its intent that they have responding to the Pakistani ill design starting from Pahalgam onwards, and they are okay with the Pakistan doesn't escalate it further.
Right. So it's not just the disinformation campaign, but the very military conduct of Pakistan that is problematic. We reported how the country is increasingly targeting civilian infrastructure, hospitals, schools, religious sites in India. These not against international rules of military conflicts.
So, if you really see there are Geneva Conventions which dictate the conduct of the armed forces the world over, but Pakistan has never honored them, and they have been brutal whenever they have got opportunity to the armed forces. Also in the past, we have seen some of the cases of 1999 where our martyrs lost their life, and their body was mutilated by them, and these kind of things they have always been doing. But frankly speaking, they don't have the capability to target the Indian military infrastructure. They do not have the capability and guts to target anything else which is important and related to the national infrastructure. They have chosen the soft most targets, and those are the people, civilians. In fact, they have not left even women and children. They have targeted hospitals which are even not touched under any kind of adversities. They have touched the religious places and hit the Gurudwara in Punch, and doing multiple kind of fake narratives. So they are just targeting the civilians in a big way. so that they can also say that they have created some kind of damage. But I must, through your platform, tell that India's response initially came because of our civilians got killed in Pahalgam. So if Pakistan does these kind of things, it will not be taken just for nothing, and India will continue responding. But of course, our response will remain limited to the terrorist infrastructure and the military establishment supporting that effort.
Right. General Kumar, we talk about the Indian response. The latest that is coming in, Indian forces are carrying out what is called precision strikes against Pakistani air bases, drone launch sites. What is the strategic importance of these strikes?
Absolutely. Unless you do the precision strikes, you conduct operations resulting in a large quantum of collateral damage, harming the civilians and other people who are not involved in these kind of things. In case of precision strikes, since you have the authentic information in today's time where these terrorist hideouts are there, where those terrorists are living, and because of those precision strikes, the destruction is done only to those people to whom it is meant. Even when Indian Defence Forces have targeted the certain defence installations, even there they have gone for the precision strikes because they do not want to create a collateral damage. So if you really analyze the pattern of Indian Armed Forces operations, they are in a domain of preciseness, targeted to the people who should be targeted, and still maintaining a high value system, not touching the civilians and other people who are not required to be touched, and avoiding the collateral damage in totality.
Right, sir. And the manner in which the developments of the past couple of days have panned out, what is your sense of where are these escalations headed?
Well, India has made very clear in public domain that the first escalation was done by Pakistan, wherein they massacred our 28 people in Pahalgam. India's actions of 7th May were just in response to that. And India has always been maintaining that while it will respond decisively to the Pakistani actions, but it doesn't have any intention to move on the escalator ladder or doesn't want to continue the escalation. But sadly, Pakistan is not understanding. After 7th May, what was done by Pakistan in the next night, they chose to launch close to 500 drones and covered the entire western border, not only in Jammu and Kashmir, but in Punjab, in Rajasthan, in Gujarat, and escalating it further, used missiles, aircraft, and number of other resources. Of course, India had no other option but to utilize its air defense resources to destroy those drones and other aerial objects, which it did. And again, it in the signal in yesterday's briefing that if you do something, we will respond and we will respond strongly. But it is up to you. You can, stop the further escalation. But Pakistan has again gone ahead, and again in the current night, which has, just gone past, we have gone and struck their certain airfields, radars, and some other important installations in part of the operational planning. And even as of now, in today's briefing, as later today's briefing, Foreign Secretary has clearly told that India is only responding to the overtures and actions made by Pakistan. It has no intention to escalate. Now, if Pakistan develops some kind of sense on its own or by international pressure and tones down these activities, I think then the escalation will, be quite natural, because India doesn't have any intent to enhance and go on the escalation matrix.
Right. And sir, as you mentioned, as India has also reiterated that the Pahalgam terror attack is the first escalation in what's going on. One must ask then, where does this conflict and how does it shape India's fight against cross-border terrorism, the issue which has been at the heart of the challenge?
Absolutely. Let me just explain. It will take a little time, not much.
Sure. We have about a minute, sir. Yes.
Okay. So initially, a number of activities do happen on the line of control because of its very nature. But there have been no actions prior to the Uri surgical strike when the government of the day owned any actions either from India or from Pakistan. But once the Uri surgical strike happened, after the attack on the Indian Brigade headquarters, where the army lost close to 20 people, We used the land forces, selected the terrorists and their infrastructure, went across, but only in POK. But the political establishments owned openly that this has been done by India. So that was a major shift then. Subsequently, in 2019, when Pulwama happened, India moved a step further up. This time, as against using the ground forces, they used the air resources in the Balakot strike. While they maintained the targets being limited to the POK, terrorist and terrorist infrastructure, but it was taken to a next level, checking the capability of the Pakistan's conventional response and the nuclear bluff. And now this time, a new normal has been established by India after the Pahalgam attack, wherein all kind of resources have been used against Pakistan with precision attacks, and the damages which have been created, they have been admitted by Pakistan, they have been seen by the international media, they have been seen by the Indian media. There is no dispute whether the strike was effective, not effective, less effective or more effective, which were being narrated in the 2016 and 2019 timeline. And while political establishment has remained steadfast even on this issue, and country has been willing to go on the escalation ladder should there be a necessity, but response has been predominantly focused on the terrorists and their infrastructure. They have been able to kill large number of terrorists, including the person who was involved in the killing of the Pearl,
Daniel
and also
Pearl,
who was involved
yes.
in IC 814 hijacking of December 1999.
Right.
And now this they have done just when 28 people have been killed, as against those when 40 people of CRPF were killed the previous time. So now India has gravitated that tomorrow they have the capability and political will to go against the perpetrators and terrorists, even if a single Indian gets killed anywhere in Jammu and Kashmir
Strong message,
or elsewhere in India.
Strong
So
message
national
then has been sent
security
across.
matrix has moved to a different domain
Right,
altogether,
right.
signifying a new India.
Right. Thank you for making that point, and thank you very much, General Ashok Kumar, for joining us in this program and sharing your perspective.
Thank you very much. Bye.